Seamaster!
Hi everyone, Sneemaster here with a brief preview of the RSI Pegasus. Pegasus is a UEE Navy escort carrier and will debut in Squadron 42. The ship concept was created in 2013 by Ryan Church, who also did concept art for the Aurora, the Constellation series, the Retaliator, as well as a lot of Star Wars ships. Concept of the Pegasus has been around since 2013, but we haven't seen anything official on the Pegasus since December 2014. The only images we have are very old, with the most recent coming from a leak in 2015, with some images and ship models. We were told it's supposed to be available in the second chapter of Squadron 42, and be one of our main home locations during that chapter. For the Pegasus, there are as yet no stats on speed, weapon loadout, or distance it can travel yet. It's possible the entire design could have changed drastically since 2015, so take all of this info with a grain of salt at this point. The ship is listed at 900 meters long. The crew size is larger than the Idris, but we don't have information on exactly how many people the ship will require, but should have a minimum of 30 pilots for all the fighters and bombers, plus a large ship crew, which should be much larger than the Idris. It has a bridge set off-center on the top left of the ship. There are various turrets scattered around the ship for defense, including some large ones on the left hangar and right wing, and another large turret centerline above and below, plus one in the back with the engines. Smaller turrets are on the sides and top. Internally, there should be a mess hall, crew quarters, weapons lockers, briefing room, captain's quarters, brig, cargo bay, and probably a medical facility. Most of the crew rooms would be along the center spine of the hull, above the hangar. There is the main hangar for launching ships along the center of the ship, with doors that retract and open at the nose. It seems to use some catapult system to launch ships, and that's partly why the ship is so long. There might be a secondary launch bay with catapults underneath the ship, where you can see some doors. There is a large external hangar on the left of the ship, possibly for large ships like Retaliators, as well as two smaller hangars below the ship in the rear. Those lower hangars might be used for landing the fighters. The lower hangars probably have ship elevators in them to bring the ships up to the main hangar. There is what looks to be another hangar on the front right, probably for utility craft, and some torpedo tubes just above it. The hangars have armored doors that close to protect them when not in active use. There should be vertical and horizontal docking ports on the ship too, although I don't see them in the pictures. It normally holds about 16 Hornet fighters of different variants, plus 16 Gladiator bombers, as well as 2 Argo utility ships. It can also hold 2 Retaliator bombers if needed, possibly on the left side hangar or underneath it from vertical docking ports. It seems to have some cargo bays on the sides of the ship that open up for resupplying. There are large engine nacelles set in angles around the back of the ship, which are very RSI style. Historically, escort carriers have a smaller complement of aircraft than full carriers. They were used in World War II to protect convoys against submarines by traveling along with the convoys. Later, escort carriers were used to seek out and destroy submarines, as well as provide air support for ground attacks. They were originally built on top of other ship designs, so they were not always optimal in their function and were sort of slow. Escort carriers were often too slow to keep up with some other military ships, so they were replaced with light carriers designed from the ground up for that purpose. Light carriers were faster than full-size carriers, but carried only half the aircraft. In Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, I expect escort carriers like the Pegasus will be used for a similar purpose as light carriers in World War II, or helicopter carriers in modern times. They will search for enemies with relatively high speed, provide space-based ground support, defend colonies that are not on the front lines, and provide escort to fleets of more delicate ships in dangerous space. A purpose that would be inconvenient or wasteful for large carriers like the Bengal, but with more ships than a smaller Idris can carry. The Pegasus carriers could also provide support to full carriers by pulling ahead of the main fleet to determine if the way is safe and finding out where their enemy is hiding, so that the larger carriers can safely attack with their larger numbers of fighters and bombers. The tracker variant of the Hornet would work great for this. A Pegasus with 16 fighters and 16 bombers would do well against pirates, insurgents, or smaller Vandal clans, assuming it has the proper support from destroyers and other corvettes and frigates. It would not be used by itself against larger engagements. For larger battles, you would want to bring in larger carriers or multiple escort carriers. The Pegasus will not be a ship you can buy in Star Citizen, either on the website or in-game. So if you want one, you'll have to find it or capture it yourself. We might only get chances to interact with one in Squadron 42, but I hope we'll see them in Star Citizen as well. I am very eager to see how the ship turns out in the end. How large will it be? What facilities will be inside? We don't know how well the Pegasus can maintain ships long term. Is it a ship designed only for launching ships, or can it repair its fighters and bombers over long campaigns? I imagine the design might change a bit with the latest RSI ship design patterns. Considering how many ships increased in size in the past 3 years, did CIG have to fully redesign the Pegasus after 2015? I guess we'll see, but watching all those ships launch on catapults will be amazing. Alright, so that's it for the RSI Pegasus review. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in jumping into Star Citizen, go ahead and use my referral code to get an extra 5,000 in-game credits to spend on anything you like. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to get more videos. Let me know if you want me to review a particular ship or item. I'd like to give a big shout out to my first 2 patrons on Patreon, Alanna and Brandon. Thanks so much. Check out my Patreon if you'd like to help me out. Okay, catch you all next time.